Let there be light. Let there be light. I've been trying to do some rambling in my thoughts about a connection that I've always been impressed that exists between the first chapter of the Bible in Genesis and the first chapter in the Gospel of John, how different they are. But I'm trying to think about the connection between the two and relate it to where we are today in our scientific world. For instance, look at how the Bible begins. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the earth. Strange. God creates everything, but everything is formless, void, without meaning and purpose, and in darkness, so no one's able to see it or relate to it. It's strange. So how does God respond to this? The next verse is, and then the Lord said, let there be light, and there was light. And then, of course, we begin to see what that involved. The creation of a heaven and earth, a distinction between them, the creation of all life on earth, and actually the creation of a moral relation between the one whom God made in his own image, Adam and Eve, and the consequences that followed. Now, the first connection I was just trying to make is that in the Gospel of John, you have the same beginning. In the beginning was God, is what Genesis says. Now, John says, in the beginning was the Word, who was with God. It's a mystery. And the Word was with God, and all things that were made with him, and without him nothing was made that was made. And then John says something else. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in darkness, and the darkness does not comprehend or overcome it. Now that's John's response to what the author of Genesis says. And I want to just think about the connection between two verses there. First of all, God said to overcome the darkness, let there be light. And then we begin to see what that light means and what it involves. And now, what does John say in connection with this? Instead of saying, let there be light, John says, in the Word that was with God and was divine, or God, there was life. And then he says, the life was the light of men. So I think what Genesis and John are saying in unison is that there's some connection between God's words, let there be light, and John's words, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. Now, we know, of course, what John is getting at. He's talking about the fact that this word through which God created all things was sent to bring the light of the life which God contains. Life originally was without form and void, but it was potential life in the sense of God bringing out its essential nature and purpose. Let there be light. And so John is, I think, saying the Word of God, which became flesh and dwelt among us and revealed his glory, also became light to us so we could see what God is doing in this world and making sense of it. He came to save us from the darkness of our pride and our rebellion. And so the light shines in the world in a new way, in a personal way, that he could never have done prior to the coming of the Word of God, who was with God from the beginning. We see the glory of God and the light of his countenance of grace and mercy and love. We beheld his glory, glory as of the only begotten of the Father. What John is saying is that the light we're talking about is the light of the one who said, I am the light of the world. Unless you come to me, you will walk in darkness. Well, I think this rambling comment on this issue is something I want to develop later on when I have more time to think about it. But basically what I've been trying to do is just share with you some thoughts in my mind about this amazing connection between let there be light and I am the light of the world. He that comes to me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Well, thanks for listening.